Hello. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about face coverings at Watford Grammar School for Girls. The debate in the use of face coverings, when to wear them, by who and where, is quite complex. And I do hope to address some of these questions about the school's position. The best available scientific evidence is that, when used correctly, wearing a face covering may reduce the spread of coronavirus droplets in certain circumstances, helping to protect others. I'm going to be sending you a link to a film that has been created by The Guardian, and it will, I think, be able to answer some of these questions: why we call it a face covering, why wear a mask, how to use it properly, when externally you should wear it, how it may impact on other personal protection that you use, and when exemptions exist, and why the government made the delay in making their choices. Now, this was published in May, so some of the rules have already changed, but I think it was quite a good summary to see. So there are some important points to remember about wearing face coverings. First of all, face coverings should only be used when you're also hand washing, socially distancing, if you're in school, staying in your zones, and not touching your face. We will, over time, increase the use of face coverings if there's a threat to staff and to students that's increasing over time. For example, if a pupil or a member of staff has tested positive. Face coverings will add to the measures that are already taking place and allow students and staff to stay on site, because learning needs to take place and is most effective when it's in school. So what is our approach going to be? It's going to be graduated. In other words, we will slowly increase the number of pupils and staff who are wearing face coverings to give us time to get used to wearing them and to using them correctly. We're going to be trying to be specific about where you should wear them and which groups of students should use them. We also want to give you time to prepare to use them. It does change how people act towards each other and with each other, and you also need to be bringing into school the correct equipment. So we need to prepare for you. And we need to learn how to use them and to understand how to use them effectively. Here are some of the stages that you will see. First of all, voluntary. This is where we are at the moment. In other words, we are saying that staff and pupils may choose to wear them, and mainly in corridors or shared areas, but not in lessons. This is the first stage of the graduated approach. The next is advised. This is a stronger requirement, and it says that we are requesting you to wear them. And again, we are asking you to use them in shared areas such as corridors or in the communal areas. So for example, it could be the library. We already ask you to wear them in reception, etc. But again, not in lessons. The next stage is expected. Now, we will be asking, for example, it could be all staff and students to wear a particular mask, or we could be targeting a particular year group. If you or a member of staff is not able to wear a mask, then you can apply to have an exemption, and I'll explain this later. It could be that we're being specific about corridors or in shared areas again, but it's not necessarily going to be in lessons as expected. However, we will say to students and staff, if they choose to wear it in the classroom, they may, but only if it doesn't interfere with learning. The next stage is the highest level of enforcement. This is where we will enforce the wearing of masks, and sanctions will apply, except for those who have applied and been given an exemption. And this is where it will be in all areas of the school, and that will be including in the classroom. That is the highest level of enforcement of wearing masks. As I've said earlier, it is possible to have an exemption from wearing the face covering. Now, this can be based on medical grounds or personal circumstances. And a person that has been granted an exemption certificate, we've created a badge that will sit into the ID part of your lanyard, which will show everybody you can have this exemption. Now, this exemption may be for the whole time you're on site, or it could be for parts of the day in which it is appropriate. Now, if you're a student, your parents can apply for an exemption to either the head of the key stage, if it's personal circumstances, or you can go to the medical team who already have quite a lot of information about your medical background. If it's a member of staff, you can apply to me as the head. Now, wearing a face covering is only effective, as I've said before, if it is done safely and correctly. Now, we've shown this film, which was produced by the World Health Organization, and shown it in class before. It can't show in this film, but I will send you a link to it. And it does outline exactly the key points here. You need to have clean hands when you put the face covering on. You need to inspect to make sure that it's absolutely in good condition. You need to wear it correctly on your face. While your mask is on, you should not be touching the mask or your face at all. After 4 hours, or if it becomes damp, you should change it. Then you need to make sure if it is a reusable mask, you are cleaning it appropriately, and then you should store it safely. Or if it's a disposable mask, you should dispose of this in the bins or in a bag and then into the bin. Now, I will send you the link to this film so you can see that again. And the type of face covering you need to wear has been made clear, but I'll say it again. It needs to be plain. If possible, reusable, but again, this needs to be used correctly. And if it's reusable, it needs to be carried in a sealable plastic bag. Now, you can buy one that's disposable, but you can reuse one, and I've provided a link either here or on the guidance I've put onto the website of the government suggestions of how you can make your own. Currently, it is voluntary for you to wear face coverings. However, from Monday the 21st of September, it will now become advised for you to wear a face covering. So that is stepping up to the next stage. I hope this means that by Monday, you will be prepared to bring in your face covering every day in case the level of expectation increases. Always, our hope is that you feel safe in school, but also that you're able to come onto the site and learn. Thank you.